Hi there, this is a continuation of the last video where you will be completely learning about how to do the first open source in a proper way, which is like using the command line. Alright, so let's me get started with the same thing. So for a brief idea, what we'll be doing is like we will be understanding the GitHub flow. So where we'll be understanding what are branches, what are commits, and what are pull requests, and how the GitHub flow is happening. So here we are Sanjay. So this is the main branch called Sanjay open source. All right, now what you will be doing is like you will be creating a feature branch called feature by your name, and that will be happening here. You will be committing the changes and you will be submitting the pull request. Then we will be discussing a few proposed changes. Then again we will be merged this into the main and the changes will be live. All right, so that's the plan for today. So this is how it looks like. For example, what you will be doing is like fork the project, create a new branch, edit the file, commit the changes, and finally create a pull request. All right, so you have the complete idea about how the things is happening over here with the flow diagram. And if you missed any of the step, please refer to over here. So this would definitely help you to get started. All right, what you will be doing is like create uh, this URL into your clipboard. Now, I hope you watched the previous video on how to create a Git and GitHub account and how to link that into your, how to download the Git in your system and set it up. All right. If not, please go and watch the video. All right. Now, what you will be doing is opening the command line. For example, you can open any of the repository where you want this particular folder to be here. So what we are going to do is like we are creating a clone of the repository which you see in the website, GitHub hosting. Now you can type command from it if you're using the Windows. If you're using Mac, you can use the terminal over there. And again, all those codes are same. It's just like some similar mistakes or changes over here and there. So now let's try to understand what are we going to do. So now we add git clone, copy paste the URL which we have copied from there before. Now you can see that particular open source practice has been created. So what you will be doing is like you will be going over here. You will be you will be able to see the changes over here, right? So what you will be doing here is changing the particular file. Now I really suggest you to use any Visual Studio code editor or something, or you can just go double click on this readme file, go to the bottom. So this would be very hard for you to understand how the changes is happening. So I do recommend you to use any IDE or something like that. So for example, what are we trying to do is like we are trying to add a new name called new name over here, which is like TR, and just create copy your GitHub profile URL and paste it over here. So I will just create TR. So this is like a demo. We're just not following any of these things right now. So we kind of created and click on save button. So if you feel like, okay, this is very difficult for you to change, you can always open the Visual Studio Code IDE and make the changes. All right, so you have done the first procedure of changing this file. Now, when you come over here and you have to add git add readme.md. So make sure that if your files is in the capital letter or small letter, here I have created in the capital letter. So make sure that you type in the capital letter. Oh, there is a spelling mistake, readme.mg. Now I have been, all right. Not a parent repository, git add star. Oh, all right. So what happened over here is like we created a new folder over here, right? So we have to jump into the new repository, which is called open source. See, now when you click on ls, oh, ls is like a Mac command line. So we type dir, you can see we are inside this particular folder. Now you can add this git add readme or git add star. So I do recommend you to add only git add readme.md. All right, and make sure that every time you do commit m Sanjay, added my name Sanjay. Alright, you added this. Now you can do git status to see what all changes you are going to push. So you can see this added, one file changed, one insertion been added. So this is going to be commit. Now there is a trick. So what we did is like we kind of changed this on our you know what I say, we kind of change this on our main branch. So we don't do that every time. So what we try to do is like we always create a feature branch. So this is one mistake I want to show in that particular way. So let me, anyway, we have already made the changes, so we will be just pushing it like this. Then in the next one we will be talking about how to create a feature branch and why it is very important to create a feature branch. Now you always try to do git pull before you push. So what happened is like many people will be contributing to that repository, so it would be like creating a chaos. So git pull, it will fetch all the updated current changes into your current repository. Then git push origin main. So what happens is like you directly push it. Now there won't be any pull request has been generated. Now what happens here is like you can't do this particular process. I just want to give you another method. So for example, you're trying to push into a repository where you are not an owner. For example, right now I can push these changes into my main branch. You can say that main added 1 minute ago Sanjay. Now when you try to do this, you will face an error. And I want you to face an error and understand from learning from the error rather than doing everything proper. All right, so what really happened is like you miss this particular GitHub flow. So what you do is like you don't change on the main branch. If you don't have an access to this one, or if you're not part of the maintainer or write access, you can't do this direct commit. So what you do is like always create a feature branch. So you kind of create a copy of this particular branch. So let me try to do that again. So what you do is like you already copied this particular URL and your files is already over here, right? Now what you will be doing is you will be creating a branch. So if you type on git branch, you can see there is only current one branch available. So git checkout, what we do is like be feature bar Sanjay. So now this particular command over here let you to create a new branch called Sanjay, and always create a branch like this. So this is how we do follow in the organization. Feature branch. So this is your branch name. This is your branch name called Sanjay. All right, so this is your branch name called feature bar Sanjay. So what you will be doing is like now you can go to this particular file and change any of the files which you need to be changed. For example, let me go and add a new file called, so this would be your name, tr.1, and you can add same link. So make sure that you adding your name and your things. Okay, so that would be the first thing. And now you have been already added your name. So what you will be doing is like you are currently on the git branch called git branch feature Sanjay, right? So now you add that particular file called git add readme.mt. now that has been added. Git commit m adding my feature branch, adding my name via feature branch Sanjay. All right, now that has been added. Git adding my name. Now you can type git status to see is there anything which you have added to commit or not. So you can see this particular thing is already over here. Now what you will be doing is like git push origin. You don't type main over here, so you type feature bar Sanjay. All right, so now you can see this has been already returned into that particular repository. So what we did is like we kind of created a commit changes right now. So we followed the step till, oh, so we already followed a step over till here. So that's how oh, sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. So we already followed the change over here. Sorry, even I was really shocked by seeing that. So we kind of added the feature branch over here. Now we can see the feature branch, Sanjay is trying to push it. For example, when I refresh this, oops, sorry about that. When you see, there is like a new branch called feature Sanjay. Now the main branch is protected with the code, with the real-time code, and there is like a feature Sanjay which you can see compare and pull request. When you go over here, you will be able to see into your profile, you will be able to see now adding my name via feature branch, right? So this has been created. Make sure that so this one I'm trying to create in my own repository, so you can see compare feature, and in your case you already forked into your repository, so you'll be able to see the similar one like the last video, which is like compare branch over here, which is feature Sanjay, and base branch as main. So there will be some changes in the UI over here. So what I'll be doing is like you have to do create pull request. Now the pull request has been created, so it will check whether there is any conflicts or something. Then click on confirm merge. Okay, so as this is my repository, I could do a direct merge and I could close this PR. So if it was your branch, what would happen is like it will ask a review. You can always create a pull request and it will come to me as for a review, and once I do the review, the particular thing will be merged by resolving any conflict issues happening. So now when you go down over here, you can see TR and TR.1. So I do understand there is like some changes you might face in this particular video explanation, but this is basically how you do it. And again, this is like a trial and error method, so you can go and do all your experiment on this, because this is just an open source practice repository, and if there is any issues, just directly ping me in the discussion. You can directly come into the discussion and create a new discussion on over here. Always create a discussion like Q&A. So ask your question like, I'm not able to commit, can you help me, can you help me? So always tag me like Sanjay, so I will get a notification and start a discussion. Then I will always come back here and I will see what exactly you're facing. Make sure that put some screenshot about what are the issues you're facing, so we can resolve the issue faster than waiting for response from each of us. All right, so don't forget to give me a star over here. So that's how the pull request and branch is working. So I hope you understand the overall procedure about how the GitHub is working. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.